everyone, this is Cathy from Sewing Story Projects. Welcome back. Today we're going to be working on a machine applique. It is a cute little leprechaun, and I will have information in the description box below so that you can find the design if you so choose. So this is my embroidery work software. So normally when I get an applique design, I'll go ahead and download it into a designated folder and then upload it onto this embroidery work software. This little outline that you see in the middle of the screen, I have selected a 5x7 screen here, and my block that I'm going to be stitching the design on is only 6x12. It's 12 inches tall, 6 inches wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my applique design will fit in my block. Okay, so I go ahead and open up the file. There's a 4x4 size for the leprechaun, and there's a 5x7. So I'm going to go ahead and load up the 5x7 size. Now each one of these little grid boxes here is 1 inch. So you can see if I start from this mark here and go over 6 inches, I'll end over here. So you can see my leprechaun will definitely fit on my block. If I want a little more room there on the side, I can select the leprechaun, and then of course I can resize it just by dragging the little corner here and making this leprechaun just a slight bit smaller. Once I do that though, if I want to center it, I go back to this little button here at the top and go ahead and center, and that will center my leprechaun. Okay, so I have a USB, dedicated USB, that goes between my computer and my sewing machine. So I would go ahead and do a file, save as, and then save it onto my USB, and then I can just simply bring it over to my machine and put the USB in, and then my machine will read from the USB this cute little design. So that's what we're going to do next. So come on over to my machine and we will see how this stitches out. Okay, welcome back to my sewing room. I just want to show you my little work triangle here. I have a pressing mat, I have my computer with the thread changes that I'll be making, I have the hoop on my sewing machine, and then right next to me I have thread snips and all of my different colored threads. Then over here I just have a little area where I am using the spray beast. So that's kind of my work triangle. Alright, let's go ahead and keep going. Okay, so I am on the third step of the leprechaun, and this is going to be his green hat and the brim of the hat. And so I'm going to cut out a piece of green fabric, just rough cut it, larger than it needs to be. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn my machine on here. This is my embroidery machine, and we're going to go ahead, and the first line that gets put down by the machine is the outline. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add a little spray base. That will hold this piece of green fabric down while the machine is tacking it down now. So I'm going to go ahead and put the fabric down, and the machine is going to actually restitch over the line that it just did. Sometimes the thread breaks because it's stitching really quickly. If that happens, I just stop, rethread the machine, and restart from where it broke. Let's bring it a little closer. Okay, so next I'm going to take the fabric off the hoop, and I have these great little, they're actually thread snips. The blade is really thin and pointy, but it's also curved up a little, and what that does is that allows me to go ahead and cut pretty close to the white thread there. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do next. Alright, so that's where we are right now, and we're going to keep going. I rehoop the hoop. Okay, and next we're going to do the little band. Okay, I just finished tacking down all the different colored fabrics, and so now the next step is to put the hoop back in the machine, and then we're going to add the different colored threads. What that will do is that will satin stitch down all the pieces, and then it'll also add the details of the face of the leprechaun. Okay, the machine is currently satin stitching down the ears and the little details around the ears. It first does a little back and forth base stitch, and right now it is doing a really tight, small satin stitch, and that encapsulates the edge of the fabric so that it can't become unraveled. Okay, so we're continuing to work on the hat here. I've changed threads a couple different times. And so this is just doing the brim of the hat. And then the last step is to do the little clover that is stuck into his hat. And then we're going to move on to his face. Look how cute he is. So we're all done the hat, and our next step is to do his face. So we're going to go ahead and start that. It's going to go ahead and do his eyes and his eyebrows. Okay, I just took this out of the hoop. Isn't that adorable? It's our little leprechaun. Okay, so the next step is to take this out of the hoop, and then we're going to press this and also take off the stabilizer on the back. Okay, so I took the hoop off, and I'm just going to go ahead and take this is tearaway stabilizer. Like, it irons down, but then it tears away. And you can see there's a pretty big chunk here in his hat. So just to lighten it up, I take off some of the little pieces here that I can grab. I don't do every single little piece, but okay, so this is the back and this is the front. So I'm going to go ahead, a lot of times I put a little bit of spray starch there on the back, and I kind of press around my fabric here and get close to my applique. The final step is going to be to center this and cut this to size. I don't know if you notice this with a rotary cutter, you can open and close the blade. I automatically, every time I make a cut, I automatically open the blade, and then as soon as I'm done a cut, I automatically close the blade. I never mentioned that in any of my other videos, but it's kind of like an automatic thing. So here you have it. This is the Lucky Leprechaun machine applique block, and this is the second block of our March wall hanging. I'm doing a video on the assembly of the wall hanging, and the March wall hanging is part of our monthly Celebrate the Seasons wall hanging series. And so if you subscribe, like and subscribe the video, you will be able to see all the upcoming videos and see how we're putting this whole thing together. Thanks again for sewing along with me today. Take care. Bye.